Assemble indeed, gentlemen, and also ladies. And welcome to episode 6 of Talking Marvel with me, Rory, and him, Connor. And
That introduction felt very impersonal.
that's pretty much it, though, isn't it? To be fair,
Yeah.
by this point they're on episode 6. They know who they've got. We aren't adding anyone else to these. To be fair, this is very much our baby, complete with your beard and my beard in a super beard. And so, yeah, let's just get straight into it. We're talking about the Avengers, which, to be fair, at the time in 2012, this was the easily, hands down, the greatest superhero movie, the experience at that point.
Oh, without a doubt.
I'm not saying it's the best film. I'm just saying that like the whole thing going into it and the accumulation of everything was just fantastic, and there was nothing like it until this point.
I agree completely.
So you're on negative duties, and can't imagine it's been easy coming up with 3 negatives for this one because obviously it's such a great film. So
Yeah,
I think
they're very much nitpicky. Yeah.
yeah, fair enough. Well, you can go first, then give us your first negative.
My first negative is the lack of follow-up to the ending of Iron Man 2. It's
Fair.
just completely ignored. Which is dumb, considering the whole thing was like the Avengers.
Half a movie setting.
Half a movie of the Avengers needs Iron Man, but we can't have Tony Stark. To then just go in, never mind.
Yeah.
It seemed like a very pointless way to just. I don't want to say shit on half a movie, but it just made half a movie seem pointless.
Yeah. So, for example, I was on the last episode. I was saying about the post-credits scene for Captain America being bad in hindsight because there was no point to it when you're watching them all back in sequence. But at the time, it was fantastic for it hyping, and it's the same with Iron Man 2. You watch that stuff back now, and you're like, if you're planning on watching all the Marvel films over a set period of time, you're doing like one an evening, or in my case, normally like 3. And so if you got like through Iron Man 1, 2, and 3 one day, and the next day you've got like Thor, Captain America, and then Avengers, you'd be like, and it's still fresh in your mind, like, why in the fuck has this happened? Like a year's gone by and everything, and they're probably on better terms now, but all the same.
At least address it.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they all they said was, Coulson turns up, doesn't he? And Stark just says something like, "Oh, I didn't think I was fit for the Avengers," and Coulson's like, "Oh, well, we need you." Like, that's not addressing it. That's just being lazy. That's lazy writing, is what it is.
Yeah, and like if that was literally the like reconciliation.
That's all it is.
Tony Stark would have a lot more to say. Whether it be
Exactly.
like a snarky comment or something, it would.
Yeah, definitely. Well, for my first positive, I'm going to go with the big one, which is it's the accumulation of Phase 1. And with the exclusion of that plot thread from Iron Man 2, it did a really good job of playing to everyone's character. So I mean, Thor was sort of... There was inconsistencies like how Thor even got there, but his character was evolving from what we saw in the Thor movie. Captain America had just been unfrozen like a couple of weeks before the events of the film or whatever, so he was very much a man out of time, and that showed in a lot of the references and conversations he was having. Stark continued to be egocentric, which is something that they had him peak and gradually come down from that. And I just thought that it was a really good way of tying everything together with the exclusion of the Iron Man 2 finish. So yeah,
I agree.
And it was just a general treat for anyone that was a fan of the films.
Yeah, see, there's going to be a problem with this particular positive negative sort of debate thing because your positives are just, I agree with completely, and my negatives are so nitpicky that there's not that much to debate.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, it's like it's a great franchise, especially this film. This is one of my favourite films of all time. So, you know, I'm going to struggle with negatives. I'm glad I got positive duty on this. So,
Yeah, good luck with Ragnarok.
Shit. I mean, I can come up with some negatives, but that's mainly because I love Planet Hulk. So, I'll be fine with that. That's all I need to just reference for all 3 negatives.
Sure.
It's like Korg, who was great, but was negative to the source material. Scar, which was awesome, but nothing like Scar in the you know what I mean? You know what? I need to shut up because I'm giving these away.
That's 2 you're now not allowed to use on the Ragnarok one.
We've got like 15 episodes before then. But yeah, so your next negative then, dude?
My next negative is Hawkeye.
Fair enough.
That's it. Just the Hawkeye. It's not the Hawkeye it should be. We never get the Hawkeye it should be. Even when Hawkeye went super badass and became Ronin later on in the comics, and then we got the tiniest little glimpse of it in the MCU, and it was shite. They just do not care about Hawkeye in the slightest. They don't care. Allah, why should we?
Yeah.
And also he was made out to be a bitch through this entire movie.
This movie was not kind to him.
No.
He got brainwashed in the opening act and spent half the movie just running around with Loki and just as a glorified henchman, really. And then all he did the final battle was shoot arrows. I mean, at least in Age of Ultron, they sort of tried to flesh his character out, but not in the way that he was in the comics.
No.
It was just like in Age of Ultron, they were like, right, okay, we need to sort of make people care about him now. Which then made me think, oh yeah, they're going to kill him off soon. And it's like the only one that's still going like that at this point. So yeah.
I'm just... Hawkeye in the MCU makes me really sad.
Yeah.
Like, I know kind of gets better, like, in the phase we're at now, by now, but not enough to not make me sad.
Yeah. I mean, I've said this many, many times. My favourite version of the Avengers is the New Avengers by Brian Michael Bendis. And they did a thing where when the House of M event took place in the comics, straight after Hawkeye was back from the dead, because they killed him just before New Avengers. It was one of the main reasons why the Avengers stopped being the Avengers and then the New Avengers came along. But they sort of brought him back after House of M, and then they had Civil War, and he turned up the first issue after Civil War and joined the Underground Avengers, and eventually became the leader when he was running and stuff. And they did lots of character development on him then, to the point where he became one of the most prominent members of the team, and had loads of mini-series going off at the same time and stuff. In the comics, they did a really good job of building him up, and then in this, it was just like, he's just the guy that shoots arrows. So I was a fan of the comics, and I was just pissed off with its depiction. To be fair.
Yep.
So.
Waste.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to give you a positive now, just to take that salty, sour taste out of our mouth, and I'm going to say Mark Ruffalo. That's all that I need to say for the positive. To be fair, how great was he?
It is a continuous level of annoyance that we didn't get a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie. I now no longer want a Mark Ruffalo Hulk movie because of the Hulk we have.
Yeah, because basically his whole story arc sort of came to an end, but he can still carry on.
He's found the middle ground, and that's literally the entire thing about Hulk and Bruce Banner, is that there's no middle ground.
Yeah.
You find the middle ground. He don't need a movie. Now he's just Shrek.
Yeah, he's had his character resolution.
Now he is just smart Shrek.
Yeah, and a very good Shrek at that. But like, yeah, I think I liked elements of Ed Norton's film. I liked his portrayal as Bruce Banner to a degree. I was disappointed when I heard that they were recasting him, and then when I watched it and saw Mark Ruffalo, by the time that he actually hulks out, you forget that he's replaced Ed Norton. by that point you just accepted that he's Bruce Banner, and when he first hulks out as well, when they do that scene on the helicarrier of he's been knocked down and stuff and starts hulking out, and Black Widow just starts freaking out and have that whole fucking borderline horror movie scene of him like just smashing through there trying to murderize it. It's great. And then his brawl with Thor, and then the whole thing that they did with Mark, not just Mark Ruffalo, but the CGI version of the Hulk and stuff that they did there. Everything was great. But as a testament to Mark Ruffalo, he's the first actor to both genuinely play Hulk and Banner.
Yeah.
Because he was in a motion capture suit the whole way through that. He was on set with all the frigging dodgy balls and stuff all over a green suit so that they could build him up. So I thought that was pretty awesome that he'd gone that extra mile sort of thing.
I also will add, you know me, I love foreshadowing, especially in these kind of movies. Having Hulk and Thor fight in this one, and then knowing what we now know in what was to come.
Yeah. I mean, Ragnarok plays off that perfectly.
Yeah.
Hulk pretty much stole the show as well in this film. What with the moment where he punched Thor.
Yeah, when they finished.
The bit where the puny god moment later on. Do you know what I mean? Some of the most memorable things with Iron Man's sacrifice at the finale, where Hulk catches him and stuff. You remember that? You remember how awesome Hulk was by just flying up, grabbing him, and taking the brunt of the fall and stuff.
Bruce, gonna need you to get angry. That's my secret. I'm always angry. Bam, 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 bam. Dun, dun.
Yeah, no, it was awesome. So, what's your next negative then, man?
I've just thought about it again, and it's still my negative, but now that I mention it again, it kind of creates a little hole in the whole Avengers story.
Oh no.
Yeah. So, mine is how they cause more deaths than they save in the fight, right? In the big fight in the sea.
Yeah.
Like, the amount of buildings that are destroyed, and fully destroyed, things blown up, blah, blah. More deaths are caused there than they are in the fight of Age of Ultron.
Yeah.
And yet it's the Age of Ultron fight that made people be like, it's a bit much. I know the Age of Ultron one was on foreign soil.
Yeah.
But
they do reference the Battle of New York.
Yeah, but as a light reference, it's like
in Civil War, it's like, after Sokovia and the Battle of New York and stuff, people aren't going to trust us that much.
But then, why the fuck were they trusting you after the Battle of New York?
Yeah. Well, to be fair, if they weren't there, it would have been worse. So that's the justification there. And they weren't necessarily behind all the destruction. It's not like in Man of Steel, where Man of Steel grabs Zod and throws him through a building that he's told people to hide in. Yeah, at least in this, you saw Captain America going, right, there's people on that floor, I'm going to go in and throw some aliens out of some windows. And do you know what I mean? At least you saw them trying to save people. And Cap doing things like that, where they actually made a point of, he was fighting people, but then people are in peril, but they go in and helping him. Do you know what I mean? Whereas Man of Steel, by comparison, it was just smash.
Yeah, but DC in comparison is just bad CGI and Michael Bay explosions.
Yeah. So, but no, I do agree with you. There was a lot more in this than Age of Ultron.
Lack of honorable mention, negative lack of sub antagonist. It was literally like
Loki and the Chitauri, and the
Loki
Chitauri were a faceless army.
Yeah, so it was literally Loki and an army.
Yeah.
Pardon me. But yeah.
Okay, yeah, no, okay, I can completely see that, to be fair. But so last positive then, sort of plays off the army and Loki in a positive manner, was in fact, I'm going to throw two in there. We had two awesome post-credit scenes. One which set up everything that was going to come for the next 10 years, which was essentially a tease of Thanos, where we got him smiling at the camera and that sort of thing. And he looked awful in this in comparison to how he looked by the time we got to Infinity War.
He did look like that
bright green grape.
No, yeah, he looked like a member of those The California raisins is what he looked like.
Yeah. He looked like fucking Andrew fucking Moore.
Yeah, I did.
It did. That's the sad thing. But yeah, the whole setup there and the tease was great. And when we finally got to Thanos a few years later, it was just like, oh man, they did not let us down with that. So, but yeah, so that was one of the credit scenes. The other one was just something that I just generally enjoyed, was when was towards the end of the movie when Stark's tried to do his sacrifice and stuff, and Hulk roars at him and he wakes up and he starts going on about all different stuff, just randomly rambling, and he mentions that he saw a shawarma shop and asked if anyone's ever had any, because he hasn't. And we literally just had a scene where all the Avengers were just sat around eating a kebab.
Yep.
I just thought that was great, because it's the humanising of him that Marvel have done so well in these movies. Because then it's like they've all had a big fight. What do they do next? They just go for a kebab.
Just like any, yeah. I was gonna say just like any group of blokes on a Saturday night in England.
Exactly. Do you know what I mean? It's like that speaks volumes to me. Like,
I mean, that is.
Had a bit of a rumble.
That's literally relatable
My
content.
arm's dislocated, but don't worry about it. Let's go for a kebab.
Yeah, and look, pal. I know I broke your nose, and I know your eyes falling out. But I'll tell you what, kebabs on me, and I'll get you extra garlic sauce. I fucking love you, man. That's how it goes.
Yeah, it is. It is. Yeah, it's exactly how it goes, to be fair. So yeah, I mean, we gave Captain America a 9 out of 10. Are we both unanimously giving this a 10 out of 10?
No.
No?
Mm-mm.
You're not?
No.
Really? Why not?
I don't know. I don't. It's just an 8 for me. Just an 8.
So I could see that.
Like,
I'd give it a 10,
and by that I mean it only just manages to be an 8.
Yeah. But then there's all the importance and stuff and history.
Oh no, yeah,
on
but
there and stuff,
but
so.
it's just, I don't know. It's the only, this and Captain Marvel are the only films I cannot rewatch unless I am purposely going through them all.
Yeah.
I couldn't just sit down and be like, "Ooh, you know what? I've just made my food. I'm gonna put Avengers on." I can't do it.
Okay. To be fair, it's one that I haven't rewatched it since Infinity War and Endgame came out and were as awesome as they were. Because Infinity War just basically blew every Marvel movie away up until that point.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, okay, I feel you. You know what? I'm not going to give it a 10 because that would do an injustice to Infinity War now that I've said that shit out loud.
Yeah,
I'll go with an 8 with you. We'll do 8 out of 10.
I was going to say, think of what we've had since then and really think if the first Avengers deserves a 10.
No, I'll go 8 out of 10. That makes sense. And yeah, Captain America, as an actual movie, Captain America was better, so the 9 out of 10 for that is justified. But as an actual movie, because this is the sort of thing that Scorsese was on about when he was saying about superhero movies being more like roller coasters. You remember when he came out with that line, and everyone lost their minds over it. And you're like, but if he's only seen the Avengers, it is literally just like a movie-going the movie-going equivalent of someone taking all their toys and smashing them together in a great way because it's really enjoyable. But it's
No, yeah, it is. He's got a point with the first Avengers, but other than that, I don't think his argument really stands with anything else.
No, but with the Avengers, yeah. Maybe with Age of Ultron as well, because that was basically the Avengers but reskinned.
Yeah, true. Right, well,
fucking scene for scene as well.
Yeah.
I hope you get the positives for that, because then I can just do that. We'll just put the audio from this little conversation in on the Age of Ultron episode.
I'll probably find it easy to say negatives about that one.
We just do negatives. This one's got a 2.
Yeah, it's just shit.
I don't think it was shit, but it was shit.
Worst of all the Avenger films.
Oh yeah, easily.
Right, well, we might as well wrap this up. Go ahead, do your little outro. Pretend you're in charge.
Wizard. Well, thank you all for listening. I've been Rory. You can find me on the old Twitters at king_rawster. You can find Connor at the Connor Franks, all one word, no spaces or dashes required. And you can find our whole little troop on at Team Venom Media. And don't forget to listen to everything else we've got on Spotify. There is new content daily, apart from on Sundays, because Danny's in charge of Bond and we just left him to it and it's gone to shit.
He's a lazy fuck and don't do anything.
So, new content daily, apart from Sundays. And also check out teamvenommedia.co.uk, where there'll be a host of articles, some news bits, and you can also directly listen to any of our podcasts that we've released. So that's all permanently hosted on there. If you want to download them for your own convenience to stick on, an old MP3 player or something, who knows?
Yes, you guys do what you do. Keep an eye on the Team Venom Media Twitter, as we are going to be announcing something very soon, which is something Team Venom has never really covered before.
Well, there's a couple of things, isn't there, that we're going for? We've got 2 new shows that we're going to be dropping soon, and both are, because I don't know which one you're alluding to, that's why I'm saying this, but we've got at least two projects that are going to be popping up on Twitter soon, and I'm excited about both of them. So.
Mine relates to the game I was playing while we've been talking.
Okay. Mine relates to the game that I was playing just before we were talking.
Leisure Suit Larry.
After. Yes. Yeah. I'm talking filth with Team Venom.
Talking tits with Team Venom. We'll catch catch you guys later. I'm just ending it.
Probably get more hits.
Yeah, probably.
Thanks for listening, guys. See you later.
Tits.